Hello guys, how to build your first computer. Before that, a word from our sponsor. Alright, so first off, let me introduce our specs for today. Let me see here. Alright, this is the Segotep Gank 5. Okay, we'll take a look at it later. And then for the keyboard and mouse, we have the K8 Fire Dancing kit. I've never actually tried this before, but we'll see how it goes later on. You got a little bit of RGB. Our processor, we have the Core i5 10400F. For our power supply, we have the MWE 550W bronze motherboard. We have the MSI MPG Z490 Gaming Plus. We'll take a look at it later on. For our SSD, yes, we are going to be using SSD for this build. We'll be using the Patriot P210 256GB. Our storage, the HDD, we have the Seagate Barracuda 1TB. For our RAM, we have 2x8GB 3600 MHz speed from Corsair Vengeance LPX. Pretty decent RAM, 3600 MHz, pretty fast, and CL18. For our GPU, right, this might seem a little bit underpowered by the CPU, but I think for our build today, because this is primarily for editing rig, you can play at a 1080 resolution. So we'll be using 1650 Super from Colorful. Right. For our monitor, yes, we will be including monitor for our budget today, which is from AOC 24-inch LCD monitor. And let's take a look at our panel for our monitor here. So it is IPS, right? We want a wide angle for editing, and that's pretty much it. Alright, with all that specs out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and start with our casing. So I actually have not opened this up before. Okay, so but I am using Gank 5 for my own rig, as you guys have seen probably on my page if you follow me. If you haven't already, please follow and subscribe. I'm gonna put the link below. I don't know whether this is gonna be on YouTube or Facebook, but the link is gonna be somewhere. So let's go ahead and take a look at our casing here. Bleh. Probably the other way around. Oh, actually it's not. Right. So, Gank 5 white color. Absolutely love white. I think it's very nice. I'm using the gray color ones. So for this rig, actually we're building this rig for my brother. Primarily he is going to be using this rig for editing, Adobe Premiere, rendering a little bit of stuff. The peel off gonna be for later on, just a little bit of introduction for the case. Let's see. So we have a very nice power supply shroud. You also have meshed over here. If you have extra fans, you can probably mount it at the bottom here for intake. We have also exhaust space for our fan here, and probably 280 casing fan for exhaust as well. In front, which is the most interesting part, which I like, you can actually take that off just like that. Okay, and we have air filter. So I love this air filter. Keeps the casing very clean and very easy for you to wash off if you have dust in it. So this case actually comes with 3 Segotep casing fans. Nothing too fancy, it's just a regular casing fan. It runs at about, let's see, 1400 RPM. It is RGB, but it is not addressable, so you can only have rainbow effect on it, right? We have an additional casing here, so we're probably gonna be mounting one for exhaust over here at the rear, and one more on top here for exhaust as well, and I'm gonna be mounting two in front for intake. So our case is gonna be hopefully running at a neutral, so we are not gonna be doing a positive airflow. This is gonna be neutral airflow, which is I think the best for any case, but you guys might have your own opinion on that, but I'm gonna be using neutral intake for this one. Okay, so we're gonna be putting sponge, put it back in here. There's a reason why I want to put it back in here, because we want to make sure we don't spoil the tempered glass. As you guys can see, tempered glass, so a very nice cover for this case. I absolutely love this case, and it's actually only about, if you're lucky, you can get this for 179 ringgit here in Sabah, but otherwise probably up to 200 ringgit, right? So we're gonna be taking this off, so come on and have a look on how I'm gonna be taking this off. It's very easy, so just lift it open and that's it. You have your case, and we want to put it inside the box so it's safe, right? So first things first, okay, before we go into the hardware for our casing, I always prefer to have it mount this way as I'm building the case, as I'm building the computer. Some people prefer it this way, but it's a little bit too hard, I think, because you probably need to bend down, tilt your head, but I am going to be putting it lying down. Okay, I'll be taking the two thumb screw, number one and number two, and we just lightly pull it, and that's it. We have the bake cover off. We are also going to be putting it here. Alright. Okay, so we have the casing fan actually pre-attached, so we're going to be opening it up later on to remount it on the top as well as the rear. This is my first in a long time building an Intel build. I've been building only Ryzen for so long, so hopefully I remember how to do this. Let's see, what do we have inside the box other than the motherboard itself, right? So you have your SATA cable, you have two, and you have, what is this, MSI logo. You also have the manual, I think. Oh no, it's just a bunch of catalogs. You also have CD, right? Who uses CDs nowadays? You probably don't have any CD-ROM in your PC in 2020, right? So you also have all these things, nice, whatever that is. Okay, manual, which is convenient. You probably need that for your CPU processor mount for both Intel, actually it's only Intel, and you also have your manual build. For first hardware, we're gonna be installing our CPU here. Maybe just a little bit of introduction for our motherboard. So we have 4 DIMM slots, so you can run dual channel on this motherboard here. It is an Intel motherboard, so you can't be using this for AMD. We also have 10 plus 1 VRM, very efficient cooling. You have a very huge heat pipe, heatsink here, another one over here, very huge, so you probably can do a decent overclocking on this board. But for our CPU for today, this is actually a locked CPU, so you can't be overclocking for this processor. And you have PCIe 4.0 times 16. You also have another PCIe 4.0 times 1, and then you have a few other PCIe times 1 over here. This is actually times 6. So you have, let's see, 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 SATA port, excuse me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You have a few fan header and RGB header. Alright, so and you have 4 plus 8 EPS port over here to power up your Z490, just in case you want to overclock for your unlocked CPU. Right, so let's see. This processor comes with a stock cooler. Okay, there it goes. There it is. So it comes with a thermal paste, so you don't need to reapply any thermal paste. Remember that, guys. Let's just put it here. The processor itself. Okay, there it is. Try not to touch any of the pin because you're probably gonna spoil it if you do. So let's put it somewhere safe, guys. Okay. Right, so let's take this off by pushing and slightly pull it, and there you go. You have it open and pull it. Right, easy breezy. So for this one, you should have a indicator. So if you see here, there's actually an arrow indicating where you should be mounting it on the CPU mount over here. So if you guys can see here, right, it should be like this. I am right. There you go. And you want to give it a wiggle, and a wiggle here, just a very light wiggle. It's very important, guys, for you to actually, let me just do it one more time. Place it. You want to just place the processor and give it a wiggle, and that's it. Don't try to push it because you're gonna spoil it. And you want to close it. Make sure it's hooked up to the screw here, if you guys can see. And this should come off, and that's pretty normal, so don't be alarmed. There you go, it's off. Don't throw this, you're gonna be needing this. Okay, so push it. There you go, and you have it installed. Yes, yes. So for this one, you can actually mount it however you want. You can mount it this way, where the Intel sign is gonna be upside down, or you can mount it this way, you can mount it this way, or whichever you like. But for our case, we want to identify our CPU fan header, which is over here. Usually on every board is going to be on top of the CPU mount over here. So we want to make sure the wires can run through nicely. So if you have it this way, you probably need a very long way to go to the CPU fan. So I'm actually gonna be mounting it this way. Let's see. Yeah, but it is kind of nice for it to be this way, so I actually can go from here. But never mind. Okay, we are gonna be doing it this way, guys. Careful not to touch the paste, so I actually already touched it. Okay. You wanna make sure the foot resting inside. After pushing all the 4 pin here according to the holes, you want to do this, and actually look at the back here. This shows you that the footers actually already in place and it's pretty firm. This is how you want to confirm that it's firmly attached and mounted correctly. Right, so for this you have this thing going on there, and if you look over here you can actually see there's a this thing here there, which supposed to fit in our thing here. Right, so and we want to make sure the wires are all nice and tight, so like so, and if you can find a way, that should look pretty good to me. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, actually you don't want it to be anywhere near the DIMM slot, because that's where you'll be installing your RAM, so you'll have to just leave it as it is, like so. I think that looks pretty good, right? Okay, so the next one, I am not gonna be installing our RAM over here. There's a reason why. Most of you probably gonna be installing the RAM right after the processor, which you should, but I'll tell you why. I'm not gonna be doing that. Okay, and this is actually the only piece of hardware we'll be attaching to the motherboard, and the next one we're gonna be using the power supply and actually turning on the hardware from outside of the case. So I will be needing one of our RAM. Okay. So one of our RAM. We are going to be using the dual channel, which is the A2, not the A1. But since this is going to be for only a single RAM, because I just want to make sure all our hardware is working the way it's supposed to. Right, so you want to give it nice and firm push, and you should hear double click like that. Alright, okay guys, for our GPU graphic cards, the 1650 Super, let's take a look. What do we have? So we have the graphic cards itself, nicely wrapped in our anti-static plastic. Yeah, that's about it. That's all we have in the box. We also have a quick guide, just in case if you guys you know, need not be opening up our graphic cards. As you can see, it's brand new. We have not even opened it up yet. Right, so for these graphic cards, so nothing fancy, 2 fans to dissipate heat, a pretty big heatsink, right? We have the 6-pin PCIe connector port. Sorry, we also have, oh, we do have VGA on this card. One VGA port, we have display card and display port. Okay, so how are we gonna be doing it? Like so. So I'm gonna be using the PCIe 4x16 So you're gonna be hearing a click like that. So if it doesn't click, you'll have to do it manually by doing that. Okay, alright, so I took the liberty to just take it off by using the scissors. Okay. So what we're gonna do is actually to just plug it in here, as you can see. Alright, you can see it. You can hear it click. And go ahead and use your SATA one. You can actually see it from the motherboard there. Actually, you can't see. Never mind. So from here. Right, there you go, and you're done. Right. So after you're done with that, you're gonna go for our power supply, our trusty Coolermaster. Alright, so let's take a look what we have inside. We have the power cable. Alright. We also have a very nice flat cable, so we can do a pretty decent, hopefully, cable management. So I'm gonna be bringing it here. Make sure it's turned off. Alright, so for our CPU power over here, we have the 8+4 pin EPS. Although it is 8+4, we will be using only 8 pin, which is perfectly okay, since we are not gonna be overclocking our processor. Okay. After that, we are gonna be connecting power to our motherboard. This is a 24 pin. And last but not least, our GPU, our 6 pin over here. So let's identify that from our power supply. So our CPU, 8 pin. There you go. Okay. This should be fairly easy to find, the 24 pin. Okay. Now this is the reason why I don't like to install the RAM, because I have a pretty, I guess, medium sized hands. If you have bigger hands, it should be harder for you. So right, so you want to give it a firm push. Make sure it's perfectly snug in there. And let's find our PCIe cable. So that's our PCIe cable. So Coolermaster has done a pretty good job in embossing a letter, so it's easy for you guys to identify. So since we're not going to be using an 8 pin, so we don't need this one. Yeah. So just like that. There you go. Okay. Oh, also we'll need to power our SSD. Okay. So we just need one of these for peripherals. And if you see over here, an L shape, it should be the same over here. So let's just plug that in like that. Okay, there you go. So for our monitor from AOC, a pretty reliable brand, okay, for a budget build. Haha! So again, CD, manual, book. We have very nice. Unfortunately, it's only an HDMI. It'd be better if we have a display port, but I guess that would do. So our power cable. We also have the stand over here. Also, and we have the monitor itself. There you go. Okay. It's perfectly fine for you to hold it this way, and it's perfectly not okay for you to hold it on the frame here, because as you can see we have a very thin, almost frameless panel here, so do be very careful with this. You don't want to smash things up and end up brokening it. Okay, so let's figure out how do we... Okay, it's actually written front, so that's gonna be convenient. And just put it like that. Oh, nice clip. So let's check out the movements that we can do. Oh, actually, oh, can we tilt it? Oh, we can. So we can tilt it, but there is no height adjustment, so we actually can't adjust the height. We also can't tilt it left to right. So basically that's pretty much it. Good enough for a budget monitor. Okay, nothing too fancy there. So let's go ahead and try. So over here, let's try to find our power input. Let's see. So you have your HDMI port, you have your VGA, you have your headset jack here to the HDMI. Alright, and if you have a display port, it would be better, but otherwise the HDMI cable that comes with it should be fine to power on your display. There you go. Okay, let's see. Right, so now I want to power on our system here. So let's refer to the manual book. So over here, if you guys can see, we need to find the power switch, okay, which is number 6 and 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two. So in order for you guys to see, as I do this, it should pose. Fingers crossed, people. Ding. Come on. Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Yes. It's posting. Woo! Okay. Now that's settled, we're gonna go ahead and build it inside the case. successfully boot up to the Windows. I've already installed Windows 10 on this rig. If you guys want to learn how to install Windows 10, I will probably be doing another videos for that one. But this is it for this one. I hope you guys like it. If you guys like the video, if you've learned on how to build your own computer, please give it a thumbs up, like, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one.